Wait, what? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we record these. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Best commercial slogan.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hal, I'm loving it.
Stop.
I'm loving it.
Don't do it. Don't.
You know why, Hal? Because you are good.
All right.
I'm starting early. All right, good.
Like a good neighbor, Mark Gagliardi's there, but his beard isn't. You can't see this. This is a video, but he shaved it off, and I'm adjusting to it. My father had a mustache for pretty much all of my childhood and adult life, and then he shaved it off like 5 years ago.
My dad did that once too when we were kids, and my sister, the second she saw it, screamed, and he immediately grew it back and has not shaved it off since.
Like right there, it popped out like a cartoon character.
Yeah, exactly. Like he just went, and it just popped right out.
Sure.
We are here today to talk about advertising slogans. Obviously, we both watch way too much television, but we cannot do it alone. We have a very special guest with us here today. You know him from all the movies and TV shows that you think are cool. I know him from Alchemy This, his podcast on iHeartRadio, hilarious improvised podcast. And also he used to come on and play with us in the Thrilling Adventure Hour. It is Kevin Pollak. Yes, that Kevin Pollak. Kevin Pollak, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, and please be seated.
Finally.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hal's been standing in his closet booth for so long.
So long. Let's not call it a booth.
No.
Kevin, I have to say that I haven't seen you in a while, and I love The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel so much. Your performance in particular, because I'm instantly taken back to every Breaking the Fast, every Seder I went to growing up, because the character that you play would have been the right age to be my great aunt or my grandfather at that time. It's so good. I had to get that out of the way, the praise.
No, I appreciate it. And I don't know when this is dropping, but the timing is not bad because the season 4 just kind of began last Friday, and 2 episodes every Friday for a month. I mean, I'm not here to promote it, so I'm glad you mentioned it. And I'm thrilled to meet another fan.
Well, look, I mean, if you're not here to promote things, can you tell us about your book? How I Slept My Way to the Middle. Kevin Pollak's classic from 2012, a memoir that everyone in comedy seemed to blurb about and love. And they love you.
So few people have the hardback, so bless you for owning a copy. And when the paperback has just a photo of me from the chat show, my previous podcast.
Yes.
400 episodes, 10 years. It's not a competition. We started in 2009 when I had to explain to people what a podcast was. And there were less than 50 podcasts at that point.
No kidding.
Wow.
I think they're 5 million now. And I don't think I'm off by many.
No, you're on most of them.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But I look at that cover and I wonder, even if I could get away with the title today without being hashtag canceled, and B, how confusing was that cover to a lot of people? And also the airbrushing, when you write a book, they send you a box of the first printing and it arrives and it's a couple of years in the making and it's kind of a big deal. And you first open the box and you see, and I saw that they had airbrushed my eyes. Now, I hadn't asked them to. I'm not going to say for fear of getting canceled what they turned me into, but it's not flattering. And I would steer everyone to the paperback because of it.
Just because of the cover. You're also in bed with 2 other unclothed people. Who are these other people that you are in bed with on the cover of this book? For those who don't know the original cover of this book, How I Slept My Way to the Middle is Kevin Pollak. Shirtless, I'm assuming pantsless as well, along with
we're supposed to be in a bed.
Under the covers.
Yeah, we're supposed to be under the covers. So How I Slept My Way to the Middle, I thought it was funny if I put a woman on one side and a man on the other. And I guess I didn't really think it through how that might be confusing to people because it really was meant as a 2008 joke.
Sure. That was released 4 years later.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And shame on you for not knowing that the woman of the two folks in bed with me is in fact Jamie. But you probably haven't seen her with long dark hair.
I have not.
So
there's also a black bar across her eyes.
Yeah,
I was more curious about who the other fellow was.
So that's our dear pal Corey Levin. Who's one of our closest pals. And yeah, I mean, there was another woman. It was actually 4 of us was the original photo, which maybe would have been funnier.
But then if there were 4 of you, there's no way for you to be in the middle. Then you're either in the 2 slot or the 3 slot.
Yeah, that's what the editor said.
Yeah. How you slept your way to the off center.
Yeah. Well, the truth was the title had nothing to do with positioning of people. It of course was a take on how I slept my way to the top and a conversation about how as a character actor, you've heard it's lonely at the top. I'm here to tell you it's fantastic in the middle. I can get a table with my face more than my name, as it turns out, at just about any restaurant and just about anywhere in the world, because someone recognizes something. And, I've done a few movies. I don't know the exact number, 91, but I will say that 6 of them are quite good. But because I'm a character actor and I thrive in the middle, paparazzi doesn't need a piece of my suit.
Yeah.
For sale. Although I learned the hard way, I did have to buy my house in a trust. Otherwise it'd be public record because my divorce was public record and was in fact covered on that horrible show with 3 initials. Or three letters.
GMA, Good Morning America covered it.
Good Morning America.
How slow of a news day was that? Even a slow news day for the other jerks. But just because it was public record and they have someone stationed down at the LA courthouse for home sales and divorces and everything, just so they can report something, because every day is a slow news day, no matter what news you're watching.
Have you seen this thing about Florida that they have a law there? It's one of the few places that every arrest is public record.
That's why the Florida man, Florida woman.
Exactly.
There's weird stuff happening everywhere, but there it's public record in a way that it's not in most other places.
To be fair, it's also probably slightly weirder stuff happening there.
Maybe there are more alligators involved.
It's definitely way more alligator through a drive-through window centric.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man.
I don't know what sort of damage this could do to me or your wonderful popularity as a podcast, but the state of Florida doesn't need alligators to mess up their thing.
Fair enough.
Of being Florida.
Hey man, my father lives on the panhandle of Florida and it is a delightful place to visit, full of delightful weirdness. And I love everything about it.
Yeah, it is one of a kind. I mean, we of course do the pilgrimage to the Walt Disney World as we did for Jamie's 40th.
Of course.
Not too long ago.
You're a park fan.
Couple of weeks, couple of months. Yeah, I'll be there Saturday. What do you need?
Which one? Are you going to Disneyland on Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Just the map, but this is program for the day. I'm in the camera. Yeah.
Sure. You got it.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about all these things.
That's where you're wrong.
Look, I want to spend the whole time talking about house arrest. That's the only thing I'm really interested in. But we're going to talk about
what year?
1996's house arrest. Come on.
Are you looking at IMDb, you bastard?
No. I've seen it multiple times.
He's looking at the VHS box.
I recorded it in the closet. What do I have left? I'm bearing it all here.
I knew you would know the movie from multiple viewings. I just pulling out the exact year. I don't know how people do that.
That's it's a miracle I got married. You picked this topic, Kevin. You picked ad slogans. What draws you to them? What is it? It's just like.
Well, I think I'd like to think before comedians thrived and SNL thrived on catchphrases, I think the ad men sort of invented the slogan. I mean, businesses have been using slogans, but in terms of nationwide advertising, I feel like that is with, theme songs and commercial jingles, of course. Can I tell a quick, very funny Christopher Guest?
Please.
Insistence, observance. So Christopher Guest plays 11 different instruments, and he and his other very serious musician friends came up in the 60s at a time when Jim Morrison hit, and they thought he was a pretty boy hack and had less than zero respect, as that title suggests. And they're convinced had he lived, today he'd be doing radio jingles, which is what made me think of the story, advertising jingles. Yeah. And so when I worked with Chris on this project in 1990 on a giant soundstage, and I would be 50, 60, 70 feet away from him, and we would try to make each other laugh throughout the course of a 12-hour day by singing loudly for the other person who was not in eyesight, or view, I guess would be a one-word choice, to try to make them laugh, right? And it would be a jingle that Jim Morrison would be singing had he lived today. So I'd be in the middle of a conversation with somebody, and from across the soundstage, I would hear, Ernie's Liquor. And it was a never-ending joy.
Oh, my God. I can picture Jim Morrison writing pitches, but Ray Manzarek would just cut him off. Oh, no, it wasn't Ray. It was the other two. Ray's the one that wanted to license everything.
John Densmore and Robbie Krieger.
That's right. They were the ones that were the sticks in the mud. Come on, man. Light my fire for this Burger King flame-broiled Whopper.
See? Manny, Mo, and Jazz. Ding, 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 ding. So I think the slogan has been so dominant for so long that I don't know how one debates or concludes a choice, a singular winner. So I do like that the options I was sent by Mr. Gagliardi was broken down into categories, which I think is extremely helpful. I'd like to think it's going to be helpful to us.
I think it will. And I think that within these, there are a lot of great classics.
Yeah.
From all different, I mean, there are some companies have multiple classics, McDonald's, Chevrolet, and some have one thing that they're almost more known for their slogan than for their product. I'm looking at Grey Poupon. Do you like a slogan? Do you prefer one of those two approaches? Do you like a slogan that stays the one slogan for a company forever? Or do you guys like it when a new agency comes in every few years and mixes it up?
Well, I think and Hal, I'd like you to speak at some point. I think that the challenge to all these companies and all these ad men who service these companies, but the companies have to choose. So let's not give them zero credit.
Yeah.
Can you come up with a slogan that defines us, makes it clear what it's about, and then is also so memorable that just hearing it, you know which company is being discussed? So Like a Good Neighbor is kind of genius that the company has figured out a way to make us think they're a neighbor.
Yeah.
That therefore cares about us like a good neighbor, So whatever you need, we've got you. Forgive me.
Yeah. I think the jingle element of that comes into play too. I also think we need to distinguish between things that are specifically jingle lyrics and things that are actual slogans. But one thing about that one, State Farm in particular, is even now with the ads, he's just saying it. The guy playing Jake from State Farm is just saying the phrase, but underneath it, they're playing the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, that old jingle tune. So you just get mnemonic after mnemonic pumped into you. Sometimes
the jingle is the slogan. Sometimes the slogan arises because the jingle becomes so popular. And that is what happened with Farmers. No, State Farm. Yeah. What, Like a Good Neighbor? State Farm is there.
Yeah.
I think that the greatest ad slogans of all time do two things. One is either give you the feeling of what the product does or how good it is. But looking at CoverGirl and Maybelline, you have easy breezy, beautiful CoverGirl, and that conveys the lifestyle of someone who uses these cosmetics. But Maybelline, they go another way, which I think is even better, which is maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. This is something that's so good that it will make you look great to the point where we're not even going to take the credit. People are going to think that you rolled out of bed looking beautiful because you use our makeup. So we just accentuate what's there rather than selling a lifestyle where we sort of work so well that people don't even know we're there.
Yeah. And I think along those same lines, some companies lose touch with the rest of the universe and have chosen to be so myopic and niche. And I think the latest example is Mercedes, the great John Hamm saying the best or nothing.
Yeah. That is it's such a specific, you want to talk lifestyle. It's promoting a lifestyle. It's promoting absolute exclusivity at the top.
Yeah, at a time when maybe that's not great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But also just celebrating we're the 1%ers of 1%, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a weird sort of announcement.
I think that BMW is a little more subtle in doing it, because they make it more about the car and not about the mentality of the best or nothing, which BMW is being like, but if you call your car a driving machine, you're probably already a 1%er.
Mm-hmm. But those are aspirational, right?
Yeah.
They're using something. I mean, it's in the same sort of family as Gillette, where they say the best a man can get. So this is the absolute best. If you value, you know, if status is important or having the best, you want to treat yourself to quality, you need a BMW, you need a Mercedes Benz, you need to use Gillette for shaving, because we're giving you the idea that you can't get any better than this. This is top of the line.
But some of them are so iconic.
Yes.
For little tiny products, really. And I don't know if a current audience is going to know this one of Calgon, Take Me Away.
Yes.
But I know I've seen it played with in comedy, sketch, or moments in films in the last handful of years. So someone thinks it's current, but that's been around for 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
Take Me Away. And the idea that this little soap product for your bath, I guess, could, you know, take you off on a vacation in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that that stayed with anyone is almost creepy.
Well, those ads, I mean, I remember the ads from the late 70s and into the early 80s, where it's just, it's generally, they generally at the time were marketing exclusively to like housewives and women who have like the worst possible life.
Yeah. Those days, the beginning of that commercial, their day is going horribly.
Yeah. You just look at it and go like, maybe you need to like eat, pray, love and go get your groove back or whatever. But instead, no, while the kid is asleep for 5 minutes, I'm going to slip into the bathtub with this bar of soap. And that's my only escape, because soon my husband will be home. And then he's going to want to talk about his day for like an hour. And I don't care. I don't even know what he does.
Yeah.
There's something about the Calgon thing that I love. Calgon, and I've mentioned it before, I'll probably mention it a lot because I think it's absolutely brilliant in this way, is Grey Poupon, and Gillette is what you mentioned, Kevin, you said that these are small things, because I think what that makes them is both aspirational and completely attainable. I can't go out and buy a Mercedes, but I can go out and buy mustard that's $1 more and fancier. I can go and buy if the Gillette is the best, you know what? I will. The best or nothing. You're right, Mercedes. I will get this Gillette razor.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point.
Small products being marketed to give you a lifestyle boost.
Do you think Grey Poupon works without, do you think the perfect slogan works without the ad? Because I think you need the commercial for Grey Poupon, right? You need somebody to roll up on a Rolls Royce. Or it was always like two
Rolls Royces.
Two Rolls Royces, and then they're passing mustard along to each other. There's definitely cocaine in it somewhere. Like that's some weird.
It's taped under the lid.
Yeah, that's how they were passing around.
They just do it with a wink.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have any wink Grey Poupon?
But also, you're right in the sense that for $1 more, we may be ridiculous. It may be twice the price.
Mm-hmm.
You know, did that commercial in its day really seep into the minds of, I'm going to say, probably women who watched and bought and made sandwiches for their kids in the 70s or 80s, whenever that happened? Did they really, you know, I guess the idea was let's make them laugh. It couldn't be, if you too want to have a Rolls Royce, you need to start with eating Grey Poupon instead of Frenchie. I mean,
it did double their sales. I read that. It did double their sales. They increased 100%. And I imagine that seems like a good reason why. I would have been, you know, as a kid, I was like, I want mustard. I want fancy mustard. It's
for the joke alone, it's worth it. I feel like we all sort of made fun of it a little bit, which was a brilliant move by them. I don't think they were upset by it, but that's the idea, is you get a little bit of luxury that you see in this commercial for nothing.
It almost seems hacky comedically to make fun of something that was already tongue in cheek. But you're right. Everyone came down on it so hard, but everyone did think at the grocery store in that moment, myself included, you know what? I do want the fancy mustard. How much is that? How much is the fancy mustard?
Now made with wine was another tagline. That was the on-screen tagline at the end.
Yeah.
Or it's even made with wine. That's what it was.
Is that true? I don't remember that.
Yeah. Their tagline, the line in the commercial was, pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? But their tagline was, it's even made with wine.
Oh, so we're hoping they'd get like a little buzz off of it.
Yeah.
Is the choice of a new generation, is that something they're still slinging and getting away with? Because
I don't think so. But it was brilliant.
Going back to the great Corey Levin from the cover of the hardback of my book, How I Slept My Way to the Middle, not just a funny title and technically still available on Amazon. Corey Levin's slogan pitch for Pepsi is the following. Is Pepsi okay? Now, not only is that instantly, if not involuntarily funny, hilarious, but I think if you're going to be that strong of a number two, then lean into it.
Yeah, be number two.
Yeah, and let everyone know you don't care. You're totally comfortable with being number two because you too are a multi-billion-dollar company. And by the way, Jamie and I also got sort of hooked on these, they're like behind the music, but for food, like the history.
Oh, yeah. The foods that built America.
Oh, the foods that built America. Yeah.
The foods that built America. So I think Pepsi, because of its subsidiaries, it now may have a greater gross profit than Coca-Cola.
They're kind of in everything. Like the reason that they're at KFC and Taco Bell is, don't they own KFC and Taco Bell?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're enormous. Though that you mentioning that I think also brings up a good point. That is one of those snapshots in time advertisement slogans that is specific to the Cola Wars, right? So that comes out with the Michael Jackson commercial in the 80s. As they're in the middle of this, they've introduced Max Headroom for New Coke and Pepsi's defeat. And so it's this whole idea that pick us instead of the other thing. It's like Apple doing, because IBM's slogan was think. In 97, Apple comes out with think different.
Yeah.
And it blows up and launches the iMac, the iPad, the iPhone, and everything that Apple does that's cool now.
Yeah. The choice of a new generation suggests also, Coke was your parents' soda. You don't like anything they like. Try this.
Yeah. All right, let's look at some of these. Is there any section that you'd like to talk about specifically? Some of the categories we have on here, we have business, grooming, vehicles, lifestyle, fast food, pantry, and drinks. There's 3 food-based categories. A lot of slogans get used for food advertising.
I think it's feet to the fire time. I don't want to tell you how to run your darn show, but I do feel like we take a category one at a time, and we have to come up with the top 3, the top 2, and then the winner.
All right. Well, let's start with business. I'm going to go out there. I will say that my choice going into business is Think Different from Apple. I think it's brilliant. I think it came out at exactly the right time, and it launched it didn't launch a mega empire. The Ridley Scott commercial did in 84, but it relaunched Apple being cool in 97. I think that's a huge one up there.
Well, then we have to break down criteria, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because yours seems to be based on a not necessarily well-known slogan that I don't think it's as well known as "Don't Leave Home Without It."
Right, exactly.
For example.
Yes, I agree with that one. That's the one that stood out to me.
Or "You're in Good Hands," or
Some of them have also made it into regular life. Like, Don't Leave Home Without It.
All the news that's fit to print it's almost the reason
New York Times.
You wouldn't pick it. Well, no, I know it's the New York Times.
Yeah. No. I was saying for those, because we're looking at a document I wanted to. Yeah. I don't know if everybody knows that that's their slogan.
I'll tell you what not everybody knows, Mark.
Think different.
Think different.
Yeah.
Yes. but something like all the news that's fit to print has become more of just a part of how we speak, just sort of a turn of phrase that people might not associate with the New York Times, even though it's very clearly their slogan. It's just all the news that's fit to print. It's something that we might say to one another without associating it with the brand, which I think is why it has to tie back in. I think that's a huge criteria. You can't think of one without the other.
Let's, if I may, please start with the worst slogan? Because there's one on this list under business that is a nationwide, extraordinarily well-known chain.
Mm-hmm.
And this slogan is garbage. Absolute. Are you kidding?
I don't know which
That's
one
the one you came up with.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm so curious.
Are you referring to That Was Easy by Staples?
I am.
Wow. They even made the dumb button. You can actually buy a button in the store that you smack it and it says, that was easy.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure people love the button. And I think some people sent out the button and gifted the button.
Mm-hmm.
And the button, I think, is more well known than That Was Easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's garbage. Also, it doesn't say anything to me about what that store really represents.
Yep. You don't know. I mean, the name tells you more about what you think you might encounter there.
Yeah.
Than their slogan. And plus,
in fact,
once you go to one, it's not easy.
Yeah. As names go, instead of being so on the nose like Office Depot. Yeah. Thanks. Don't break a nail. I love Staples because it's like so great.
Yeah.
First of all, 1 out of 10,421 customers that enter is in fact looking for Staples.
Yep.
Yes.
So it's so brilliant that they lean that far beyond. Yeah, no one's coming here for Staples. Yeah. We don't care, but you know what's here, don't you?
Just that'd be like if a grocery store was just named Cake Mix.
Yep.
Just based on one thing that they happen to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Don't Leave Home Without It as one out of the business world because there's also, it's not just that you need to carry it with you. It's that there's a threat of you not carrying it with you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's sort of a passive threat in that, hey, I'm just saying, don't leave home without this thing. You should always have this on you.
I think all three of the credit cards, well, all four of them, Capital One, What's in Your Wallet is a great tagline. I don't know how great of a slogan it is. I love It's Everywhere You Want to Be, but I think MasterCards, which is not just priceless, it's some things in life are priceless. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Yeah.
Implies that they value, they're somehow putting themselves on your side, right? Like we get that there are a lot of things money can't buy, but hey, when you have to buy something, use our card. Don't pay attention to the terms. We'll worry about the interest later. Just buy whatever you need that you don't think is priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go buy this plane ticket because the look on this person who you're flying to see's face when they see you is going to be worth more than all of the interest payments that you're going to make on this flight.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a misdirect. It's a little magic trick.
So how do you on your show determine the ultimate?
We'll sort of we'll wind up getting there, but sometimes we will pull one from each of these and then we will look at the collection that we have and go, well, there's a clear winner that sticks out. So I'm happy if the one that and we don't have to take one from all of them. Sometimes we can be like, nope, that doesn't beat anything that we previously have. Nothing's coming out of that particular rodeo gate on this day. But I'd say that coming out of this business category, I think that Don't Leave Home Without It is a strong contender.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to circle back to Like a Good Neighbor. I think that, and maybe because it has a jingle that I'm subconsciously constantly aware of, but it also is imprinted and also tells you what they're about without being on the nose or in your face.
Yeah. It's almost got a shave and a haircut to it. If I say Like a Good Neighbor, you know how to finish it.
Yeah. And deeper than that, it conveys trust.
Yeah.
It tells you why this brand is better than all the other ones.
All right, let's talk about some, we've mentioned a couple of them, the real big contenders in the grooming category. Calgon, Take Me Away, The Best a Man Can Get, Maybe She's Born With It, Maybe It's Maybelline, Easy Breezy Beautiful, CoverGirl. L'Oreal's is also pretty good. Like these seem to be more about empowering. You know what I mean? Maybe She's Born With It, Maybe It's Maybelline, Because You're Worth It. L'Oreal's Because You're Worth It is a great.
Yes. And now in today's world more than ever.
Yeah.
The empowering nature of that is going to be difficult to beat.
I wouldn't, and it's another reason that Think Different. I was like, yeah, I guess, when you mention it, that 9 out of 10 people, I don't know how many of the numbers, a number of people out of 10 would not know that that's Apple's slogan or was Apple's slogan. If I hear the phrase Because You're Worth It, I don't think L'Oreal. If I hear Maybe She's Born With It, I think Maybelline. If I hear Easy Breezy Beautiful, I think CoverGirl.
I think there's a call and response to Maybe She's Born With It that is similar to like A Good Neighbor. You know what the other half of it is. And I think I keep coming back to it just because of how well just the picture it creates. You have such a good sense of why this brand over every other brand that you could pick. Yeah. And it does it from the perspective of what other people will think, which that's not the most empowering thing. But in terms of selling the product, it does a damn good job of telling you, like, people will look and they won't even know if you're wearing makeup. They'll be questioning it because it's that good. It's that natural.
Yeah. Because I'm slightly older than you fellas in the sense that I was there when someone said, I think we should just call it fire. I will tell you and your younger audience, to my generation, when the slogan, a little dab'll do ya, hit, it was still remembered, is still remembered to this day. And I don't know that the ones you guys are touting has anywhere near that sort of clout.
Brill cream, a little dab'll do ya.
And I don't think Brill cream is even a thing anymore. And if it is, I apologize. But it's one of those things I haven't thought about in forever because who uses that garbage? But as a slogan, much like Take Me Away, that's why I was asking the criteria. But I think to the newer generation, Maybe She's Born With It is wildly well known, but I don't think it's going to hold up to many of these other categories and winners.
And
I still want to put in
still exist. It does.
There you
still
go.
Out there.
It's interesting, like from the times that these come out too. Do you see up there when the Brill Cream slogan happened? Because it was early on in advertising. I feel like that was
30s, 40s. Well, it came out in 1928, and then the commercials were 50s, 60s. That was like,
and I'm telling you, 1968.
Right.
It was ridiculously popular. Long after men were putting so much Brill Cream in their hair that they could.
Yeah. I wonder if the reason for some of these is the times that they came from. But like the reason I ask why it was so old is if it's the Great Depression and people are thinking about saving money, a little dab'll do ya is going to hit. In the 1980s, when men are thinking about looking slick and going into the office and status, the best a man can get is a perfect moment for that time.
Yeah.
Is there one of these that sticks out as timeless?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
All right. Are we just shutting the medicine cabinet?
Yeah, let's shut the medicine cabinet.
Let's shut the medicine cabinet and take a break.
Let's take a quick break. We'll hear from some of the other fine shows on the Maximum Fun Network. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm looking for a movie.
Oh, I got you.
There's that new foreign film with the time travel.
There's an amazing documentary about queer history on streaming. Have I told you about this classic where giant robots fight? Or there's that one that most critics hated, but I thought was actually pretty good.
Ooh, I know. The one with the huge car chase, and then there's that scene where
the car jumps over the submarine.
Wow, who are you eclectic movie experts?
Well, I'm Ify Wadiway.
I'm Drea Clark.
And I'm Alonzo Duralde. And together we host the movie podcast Maximum Film.
New episodes every week on MaximumFun.org.
And you actually just walked into our recording booth.
Oh, weird. Sorry. I thought this was a video store.
You seem like a lady with a lot of problems.
Well, Manolo, we have a show to promote. It's called Dr. Game Show.
It's a family-friendly podcast where listeners submit games and we play them with callers from around the world.
No, sounds good. New episodes happen every other Wednesday on MaximumFun.org.
It's a fast and loose oasis of absurd innocence and naivete.
Are you writing a poem?
No, I'm just saying things from my memory. And it's a nice break from reality. Are we allowed to say that?
I don't know. It sounds bad.
It comes with a 100% happiness guarantee.
It does not. Come for the games and stay for the chaos.
Hey, how are those advertisements for everybody? Great. Let's talk about advertisements.
Sure. Vehicles.
Let's talk about vehicles. There's some great classic car slogans. And again, this goes back to some of those companies that have had multiples through the years. Ford, go further. Built Ford tough. Have you driven a Ford lately? Chevy, like a rock. See the USA in your Chevrolet. The heartbeat of America. Like are there some of these that stand out to you as superior?
I saw one that made me mad just reading it because I had to think of every time I heard it in a commercial, which is Zoom Zoom Mazda's. It drives me crazy. And
sticks though. It's like Farfignugan stuck.
Yeah, that was a real moment in culture. But the Zoom Zoom, the fact that it's whispered to me, it's so creepy.
Yeah.
I can't, it's visceral. I almost punched my computer when I saw it. It was just a gut reaction. I'm not a violent man.
No, you're not. And yes, your point is 100% correct. But I gotta say, in terms of also visceral, Like a Rock is undeniably speaks volumes about what it's selling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is only 3 words, which is one more than Zoom Zoom.
True. We're going by number of words, though. 15% could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, listen, again, what is the criteria? If you poll 10,000 people, you're going to get a lot more Like a Rock in terms of recognition, I think, than you are Zoom Zoom.
Yes.
If you polled every patient at insane asylums, they're all going to know Zoom Zoom.
Yeah. Well, they all have that weird Mazda voice whispering in their ear and breathing on them as they pull out in a Miata.
Like how they were driven insane.
Rocking, hitting the walls. It's terrible.
I want to give a shout out to Subaru in this one because I think theirs is it's more than just the name or it's more than just the slogan. It's the whole ad approach that they have.
I agree.
Which is the whole idea of their cars are for kind people. The absolute opposite of Mercedes is the best or nothing. Yeah. We make cars for, they were the first company to specifically market in the 90s toward gay people. Their whole thing is love and always has been. They have, there's a dog in almost every Subaru commercial happily jumping into the back seat. I think that love, it's what makes a Subaru. A Subaru is a great tagline.
I do too. And I also love that someone in an ad agency room had the wherewithal to say, let Mercedes be best or nothing. That's not your audience anyway.
Yeah.
Let's have Subaru for the first time ever. A car is synonymous with love. Could you fathom such a thing?
Mm-hmm. And it works.
It works. Yeah,
it does. You know what's funny, going back to Chevrolet for a second, when I think of Like a Rock, I only think of Pete Seeger. Like a rock. But I always think of the heartbeat of America. I love the heartbeat of America as a slogan just because it's made here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the engine that drives our country. If you're in America, you have a Chevrolet.
I would like to hear Pete Seeger's version of that song for the record.
The heartbeat of America.
No. That's not Pete Seeger.
Oh no. Who am I thinking of then?
Pete Seeger's. You're thinking Bob Seger.
Bob Seger. I'm not thinking Pete Seeger.
Like a rock.
Like a rock.
Ooh, like a rock. Rock the magic engine. Powers my Chevy.
Yeah. Bob Seger. Yes.
Yeah.
Bob Seger. Yeah. I always think of Bob Seger singing, and now I'm only going to think of Pete Seeger singing.
Right.
So I've ruined it for myself or made it.
Yeah. You're right though, in the terms of hearing that jingle, which is just those words, not even a music sting, right? It is Bob Seger's voice for America because they couldn't get Springsteen, I'm guessing, to sing Like a Rock.
Yeah.
But that's the sensation that races through you.
Is the most American singing voice singing the most American phrase about the most American vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now the weird thing isn't, the number one, not only the number one selling truck, the number one selling vehicle in America for 10, 20 years running is Ford F-150, Ford truck.
Mm-hmm.
So built Ford tough is maybe their slogan. So they're so damn prolific and good and genius and number one. They don't even need a great slogan. Never did.
That's true.
And also built Ford tough is them implying that the toughest thing you can be is a Ford.
Yeah.
Like if I said, look, oh man, did you see that guy? That guy is handsome. That guy is Gagliardi handsome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's aspirational not only for the consumer
Mm-hmm.
to say, like, if you're tough, like to really be tough is built for tough, but also that it's what all other truck manufacturers aspire to. They're all trying to make a truck that is Ford tough, but only we can do it because we're Ford.
Listen, Rachel Maddow devoted almost her whole hour, one episode, to saying Ford announcing they were making an all-electric 150 was going to be the singular moment that revolutionizes the electric vehicle.
I think that is a fantastic moment, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah. And she said it's because this is the number one selling vehicle in America and has been for 10, 20 years, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
And that's good because people buy those in fleets. F-150s are the kind of truck that big white F-150s all parked in a row at some, big contractor's garage.
Yeah. And it's only a little bit more for the electric version. I mean, they really did make it kind of easy.
So do we think any of these vehicle slogans are going to rise to the Mount Rushmore off of which we are going to blast 3 of the heads and leave 1?
Well, like it or leave it.
Like a Rock is pretty great.
Love it or lump it. Like a Rock is floating to the surface in terms of the most embedded in the psyche, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with putting that on Mount Rushmore. I do think the next section
has all of them,
which is lifestyle. I think there's a clear, first of all, the lifestyle stuff is you've got like Disneyland, Hallmark, K Jewelers, MTV.
You guys don't put all of those eggs in that wonderful lifestyle. Oh. You've got fast food coming.
We do. Yeah. We have fast food. There's one little old lady. There's 4 feet and 11 inches that might have something to say about that, Hal.
Yeah. The story. Oh, we're going to talk about the tragedy of Clara Peller.
We're going to talk about Clara.
I do think there's one slogan in lifestyle that is, and there are some real heavy hitters in here, that is the number one in this section. I don't even think it's close.
I think there are 2.
How dare you? You're fired.
There's a lot of them. You've got A Diamond is Forever. Iconic. The Happiest Place on Earth. Iconic. But I think that there are 3 actually. Now I'm looking at It Takes a Licking and Keeps on Ticking is another one of those that has made it just into the language. As, I take a licking and I keep on ticking.
That's so iconic. It has succeeded far beyond the actual watch company.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that MTV and Nike's, I think, Just Do It is a perfect slogan for what Nike is. And I don't know if I Want My MTV is as great a slogan, as the ad campaign surrounding it. Hey, we'll get every famous rock star in the world to go on MTV and say, I want my MTV. And then we'll give you this call to arms to go out and call your TV company and say, I want my MTV. So that felt more like a flash mob than a great ad campaign slogan. Does that make sense?
It does. Will it compete with It's Finger Licking Good? No, I don't. I don't. I'm telling you.
But Just Do It does. Yeah. I think Just Do It does.
Just Do It for sure.
Just Do It rises to the top of that category.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's easy.
So easy. Let's do it.
But I don't think.
Just do it. Now we're all right.
All right. Kevin, we're in fast food.
We love fast food here at We Got This, Kevin. We love it. We've talked about it every possible way.
Every way we can.
And this is exciting.
And now there's a bunch of great classic fast food slogans. I think there are 2 contenders.
Do you know McDonald's has 2 of the best and also maybe the worst? Are we all forgetting food, folks, and fun?
Yes, we are.
And they floated that out there and it just laid there like a wet fart. And they were like, no, never mind. I'm loving it. That's what we meant to say. This one must have, we're going to delete that.
Hey, Brian Cox, just, make him forget about it. Just hum the tune. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Great.
Yes. Yeah. When he does that, he makes the viewer or listener in their mind say, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
That's how iconic I'm loving it is.
Yeah. He just gives you that's the call and response.
You don't hear that jingle and think, oh, I like McDonald's. That's a great song. Nope. No. You think I'm loving it.
Yeah. That's right. He doesn't even say it. I also love the great Dave Pasquesi, who made a good amount of money saying, did somebody say McDonald's? Which was a really
Was that Pasquesi?
That was Pasquesi. And it's a great It's such a good slogan, but they have to have been established first.
Yeah.
Like, none of the early stuff sticks as well. Everything we have here is more latter day. But did somebody say McDonald's is so good that it's like just a dog whistle for hungry people? If you say, did somebody say McDonald's?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Fellas, I'm still going to circle back to it's finger licking good because it's been around 60, 70 years.
Yep.
It is arguably singular, never faltered, never competed with itself. The way I feel I'm loving, you could make that argument that I'm loving it is not a 60-year-old powerhouse.
Yeah. What about Where's the Beef?
No.
Well,
you don't think Where's the Beef? Where's the Beef got Walter Mondale a nomination for president?
That is a cultural moment rather than a slow. I mean, those ads are great.
Now here's a little difficulty and flashback moment for yours truly. When I was living in San Francisco as a young stand-up comedian, I did a regional ad campaign voiceover for Wendy's. And I thought, not only am I going to retire in the next year or two, but this will be as iconic as it's finger licking good.
Yeah.
Because we all know what the Wendy's burger boasts that no other burger can or does.
Square.
It's shaped.
So the slogan was, Wendy's, we dare to be square. And I thought, that's it. I don't have to work ever again.
Back up the Brinks truck.
And it ran regionally for several years. And that was it. And never beyond that region of the country. But we dare to be square. I mean, if you're going to put yourself out there. I think they really. So then someone said, no, we've got Where's the Beef. We don't need to talk about the shape of our burgers.
But on this show, if you are pitching replacing Wendy's Where's the Beef with Dare to be Square and putting it on the Mount Rushmore, I don't know if the integrity of the show can handle that.
It is a better slogan than Where's the Beef. The Where's the Beef ads were awesome. Clara Peller was great.
Well, there's a chance that Where's the Beef was so much of a celebration. You know, it's finger licking good is a reminder, it taps into nostalgia. It's the Colonel said it himself, and then whoever voiced the Colonel says it to this day. You know, it reigns supreme, like I said, in terms of being 60 or plus years in the consciousness, no other attempts needed to land.
It's got its own font.
That particular bird.
Yeah.
It's got its own font. But then the debate is, was there anything more comedically iconic than Where's the Beef in that woman? And I think the answer is no. No, there wasn't.
She was, but I think maybe the litmus test is if you were to ask somebody significantly younger than any of us.
Well, it's finger licking good is going to last because it's still today.
That's still.
Do we go with a moment? Do we go with a star that shone brightly for a year, or do we go with a star that has been simmering and just a glowing ember for 60 years?
Yeah, I mean,
more
it's
than
not
60
the
years.
Longest running slogan. It's the best one.
That's
but
true.
I also think the reason why Finger Licking Good has been around for all these decades is because they couldn't possibly come up with anything better. It's 4 words that tells you everything you need to know about the restaurant and why you need to go there right now.
Yeah, it does tell you about the food. It's almost visceral, and it's
and
like
how you're going to eat it. You're going to pick this up with your hands and shove it in your face, and then you're going to try to eat your hands. That's how good it is.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but I glanced down foolishly at the next 2 categories, and unfortunately,
there's some tough ones.
It doesn't get easier.
There are some champs in there that are going to reign supreme.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know how much more time we want to even spend on Where's the Beef.
Well, let's move.
Yeah, I think
let's move on down then.
We can
take finger licking good.
It'd be comfortable.
Let's leave the fast food drive-through, head home, take our stuff inside, throw it on the couch, and open up the pantry. Let's see what we have
throwing it on the
there.
couch first?
We're just our bags. You know, we have all our stuff with us. Open. I mean, look, I have in the past not bothered to set down whatever I brought in before I went straight to the fridge.
Is that true?
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's why I sometimes find my keys in the fridge.
That's the only thing in there. He doesn't keep anything in his fridge, Kevin. I've seen it. It looks like he's moving out every time.
I thought the keys were supposed to be in the freezer, but I would just recommend putting the bags on the counter. Just find a counter.
Oh,
do yourself a solid and get them off the couch and get yourself a solid.
But couch. They're on my kitchen couch.
Yes.
So I should have mentioned that.
My bad.
In college, we did have a kitchen couch because of course we did.
Of course you did.
Yeah. We lived in the boho, what was it? Boho life from, Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah.
Shower in the kitchen.
All
right. So what is on this list of pantry? We have some great ones. We've got Grey Poupons on there.
No,
M&M's melt in your mouth, not in your hand.
I'm sorry. You've got, you know what? You should probably read almost all of these because every one is in fact as memorable. Almost everyone is as memorable as any of the leaders we've discussed.
You know what here's what I'll do. I won't say the product, and I bet every one of our listeners will know the product for each of these. The Quicker Picker Upper, good. They're great. Pardon me, would you have any? What would you do for a? Bet you can't eat just one. Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Once you pop, you can't stop. Snap, crackle, pop, taste the rainbow, snap into a, and of course, the one that I think might rise to the top in my mind, because it is aspirational, the breakfast of champions, Wheaties.
Yeah. I mean, again,
killers.
Yeah. I don't know how you beat in terms of popularity, in terms of singular awareness. What is the criteria? I just keep circling back.
Have we defined, we've sort of loosely defined what we think is important, and different ones are rising to the top based on that.
I think part of it is durability. I think part of it is that it remains associated so heavily with the brand or product that it hasn't sort of wandered away from it, and sort of like take a licking keeps on ticking. Not many people, there are probably too many people who wouldn't say, oh, Timex. That was the Timex slogan, right? You just know it because
they would think it was a Muhammad Ali quote.
The brand.
Yeah.
In a way. So I think it has to stay with the brand. That's what makes it effective, that we continue to this day. You could say anything is finger licking good, but it's always going to make us think of KFC.
Yeah. You can say snap, crackle, and pop. Nobody's going to think of fireworks.
Nope.
Yeah.
They're not. Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. That's tough to beat.
It really is.
Yeah.
And good. I mean, it's so simple and almost inexplicable with how well known it is.
Yeah.
The one that caught my eye on this list that I couldn't believe how memorable it was the Quicker Picker Upper. That they actually figured out some alliteration.
Yeah.
and got it past the company because it's so specific to what the product does and has such memorable alliteration that it's kind of brilliant.
Yeah. There's an onomatopoeia to it almost in that it is as quick as what it claims to do. And there's no question. Like you get it. It's an economy of words and the idea gets through in a brilliant way. And
then the Breakfast of Champions and Betcha Kenny just won. I mean, I think both of those
a dare.
Yeah. That dare turned into a celebration of, damn it, they're right.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? What rises to the top based on the sort of loose criteria that we've been tossing around so far?
Under this category.
Under this category, under the pantry category.
Yeah. Well, maybe each one of us needs to pick one.
Yeah.
I keep looking at the Quicker Picker Upper. A lineup full of again, like a lineup full of
killers. This is a killer lineup.
There are so many great layers. There's so many reasons why that's great. It's perfect. Again, it's like finger licking good. You can't get better than that.
Yeah.
If you were trying to sell a paper towel, they already have this one. Anything you come up with is going to be second best at best.
Well, I just thought of something about the Quicker Picker Upper. The slogan, I think, might be better known than the actual product name.
Really?
I think if you asked 10,421 people, what is the product name for the Quicker Picker Upper, they would, so it's a paper towel. What's the paper towel? They would know paper towel more than they would know, I think, the brand name.
Yeah.
Really?
I think there might be a possibility of confusion, whereas bet you can't eat just one. There's no confusion.
Is there, though? Because Pringles is remarkably similar with once you pop, you can't stop.
But Pringles is not a potato, so it should die.
Followed that lawsuit closely, did we?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But if I said, what's the breakfast of champions, would you know what I was talking about?
I also have to say that Snack Crackle and Pop is unbeatable in terms of brand recognition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unbeatable.
I got to say, Snap, Crackle, Pop is also the only ad slogan on here where every word in the slogan has its own character.
Yeah. Yep. Whereas one of these has only one character, and you say to anyone, they're great.
Yep.
That's undeniable what the product is and how well we know.
Yeah.
I remember when Thurl Ravenscroft passed away,
and
I got an email from my agent. They're like, hey, can you record this? Like, they were already looking for, because they had to replace that character, and that slogan is so tied to the brand that it had to continue even with him gone. And it is pretty fantastic. I mean, it could be about anything, but we know it's not.
That's my point.
Flakes.
But does it need,
that's a really good point.
Is our slogan going to need other elements? Like, does the slogan stand alone? Does the Breakfast of Champions stand alone without Michael Jordan on the box? Does Where's the Beef stand alone without the delivery? Does They're Great stand alone without, you know what I mean?
I think the Where's the Beef definitely stands alone without the delivery, and They're Great. If you just said to someone, what slogan They're Great, what does that slogan represent? I think you're right. Without the pronunciation and performance of those words, you're going to lose maybe half.
Because without the delivery, that's just somebody going like, hey, we got this Frosted Flakes account. You got anything for us? Yeah, I got a pitch. They're great. Get out of my office.
Yeah. Stan, pack your stuff and be out by noon.
You know, they tried to replace Tony the Tiger for a little while with a kangaroo for like a year, and it didn't work. And they brought Tony back. That's true. And like,
yeah, because the kangaroo said they're grape, mate.
Yeah.
And everyone thought he's talking about grape nuts. Snap, Crackle, and Pop, you know,
Crackle, and Pop, I think.
You don't need a delivery. You don't need a jingle. No. You don't need, oh man.
That's onomatopoeia right there too.
That has to be.
Yeah.
I think it's Snap, Crackle, Pop.
That's true. You can't.
It's undeniable.
Yeah.
It's
undeniable.
tied to the brand in a way that, Snap, Crackle, Pop. There you go. One more.
We have one more category, and it's drinks. We've got beers. We've got sodas. We've got coffee. We've got the one that I'm going to pitch.
Mark, I know which one you're going to pitch.
Got Milk.
I thought you were going to pitch Good to the Last Drop because Teddy Roosevelt came up with it.
Oh, I didn't know Teddy Roosevelt came up with it.
Yes, he visited Maxwell House and had their coffee and declared it was good to the last drop, or that's the story that they told, and that's the reason why they used that slogan.
Huh. I didn't know that. It doesn't change my answer. I think Got Milk is perfect. I think it was used in so many different ways. It was said in a million ways.
I don't think everyone knows that it's promoting the California Milk Processing Board.
That's true. I didn't know that until this list.
That's the argument, you know.
Yeah, it's like beef. It's what's for dinner. Like it's not a specific branded product.
Yeah, pork the other way.
Interesting.
I think it's a insanely well-known, popular slogan.
Mm-hmm.
But our criteria, as I keep hammering that word, seems to have focused on, does the slogan make it clear what it's about and what it's pitching and what does it make you think of? And Got Milk is by far one of the most memorable slogans of any era.
Yeah.
But it is not tied to an actual product.
Right. Yeah. No one entity reaped the benefits of it.
Yeah. If we could say, they were promoting milk.
Yeah.
That's all. They were just promoting milk. Sorry. Which milk company were they promoting?
Milk.
Just the
concept.
Are they promoting the farmers? No.
The specific cows themselves?
Yeah.
There's one
it's
guy.
in California.
Yeah.
On top of everything else, they boil down to a state. No, sorry. Got milk is out.
All right.
The heir to the milk empire was like, make sure they remember us.
Yeah.
All right. How about this? We like our call-in responses on this episode. Tastes great.
Less filling.
You know the second half of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Miller Lite, of course. You've also got Budweiser, King of Beers. In our beer battle, Miller versus Bud.
Yeah,
Classic.
King of Beers is tough to beat.
King of Beers is pretty great.
I do like Sprite, Obey Your Thirst. I don't know if people associate it with Sprite, but I do think it's a really, really good slogan.
Hal, I'm going to suggest, just popped into my head, every time you are faced with a whispering zoom, zoom, you chase it with Obey Your Thirst.
Obey Your Thirst.
I think it'll snap you out of whatever.
Thank you.
That's the devil. Instead of an angel and a devil on your shoulders, you have a Sprite and a Mazda.
Yeah.
Having coping tools is important. And now I have a really important one. Thank you, Kevin.
I got to throw one out there.
Yeah. Did we miss a classic?
We did. And Jamie, when I told her what I was doing, and, she's very fond of both of you. And she's also, nicknamed Consumer West. She knows just way too much trivia and names of products and jingles, and the jingle for Gatorade.
What is the Gatorade jingle?
Gatorade is
Thirst Aid for that deep down body thirst.
Oh,
I just said Gatorade is.
Wow.
That's all I said. You talk about call and response.
Yeah.
That one's, that is in there.
That was like an awakening.
Yeah, it really was. I love that. Also, I never really thought of Thirst Aid as being a pun.
Yeah.
Until just now, like, do you have the Thirst Aid kit in the car for the road trip? I do. I bought us 2 Gatorades.
For that deep down body,
down body thirst.
Can you imagine if Pete Seeger, if you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, Pete Seeger was performing.
Oh my God.
For Gatorade.
I'm asking her because I feel like she had 1 or 2 others.
Yeah.
There's the best part of waking up.
Yeah.
Is Folgers in your cup.
Yeah.
That's a great
Some of these
call.
feel more like full lines of jingles rather than slogans, though.
Well,
this
call and response. It's not a slogan.
Yeah.
That's true. These are under the jingle category. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it is.
It's thirsty for that deep down body thirst.
Yeah, that needs Bob Seger more than Pete Seeger.
Yeah, it does. But I'd rather have Pete Seeger. I feel like we have too many gruff voices in the world of jingles.
Yeah.
Specifically from the 80s. We need a little Pete Seeger.
We dare to be square. I mean, I was so leaning into Casey Kasem.
I love it. Do we have one that's coming out of drinks that can beat some of these iconic Finger Lickin' Good and Snap Crackle Pop?
I don't, you didn't mention the real thing. And
the real thing, of course.
It's got a
Coca-Cola.
It has to.
Yeah.
It has to be recognized.
Yeah. The ad for the song commercial, if nothing else.
Well, if you polled 10,421 people and said, what is the real thing? I mean, I don't think you need anything else. I don't, that's the weird aspect of the power of the real thing.
Yeah.
It was on their cans forever, printed on their cans. I think if you polled all those people and said, what is the real thing?
Yeah.
They would not get spiritual or
What's the real thing? Sit down. I'd like you to read this tract.
Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the real thing?
All right.
But
Got milk?
Good to the Last Drop is also just so iconic.
Yeah. And it just paints a really, really strong mental picture.
Mm-hmm.
And weren't they the same? Wasn't it also Maxwell House that had the and the percolator?
I think you're right.
To the Last Drop.
But again, even with Coca-Cola, maybe the greatest advertiser in the history of consumer products, do we think the real thing beats Finger Lickin' Good, Snap Crackle Pop, Just Do It?
I think what would beat them all is the new slogan is Pepsi okay.
asked and answered. That's the winner. There it is.
It's so good.
Wouldn't it take over the world?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Pepsi okay?
Because, come on.
You immediately can picture, like I can picture 12, like a series of 12 commercials that just everybody is sharing. They're all over the internet. They're going everywhere.
And you don't even let the customer say the word of the competitor.
Mm-hmm.
You have the waiter or waitress cut them off. Excuse me, can I get is Pepsi okay? Yeah, I guess. That's the ad. We're done here. Sure. Or maybe Pepsi doesn't allow us to say, yeah, I guess. They're going to go with sure. Like just the surrender.
I guess.
That's a 6-hour fight on set over which one it is.
Sure. You know what? Sure. Can we make it positive, Stan? No, we can't.
Yeah.
And we're going to be celebrated for taking a shot at ourselves. You got to go with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big...
And then Pepsi is going to spiral and things are going to get real out of hand and Pepsi's going to feel bad about themselves and they're going to be wandering, stumbling through the streets looking for a bar. And then the phrase, is Pepsi okay? Takes on a whole new meaning with their second round of Super Bowl ads.
Way to bring it home.
Oh my God. Speaking of bringing it home, let's bring it home, gentlemen. What are we looking at as our absolute finalists? Okay, I'll say this. Why don't each one of us bring one forward that we think is the strongest contender out of all of these? We'll see if any of them line up.
We're talking about a slogan, one only per customer, not one per category.
No,
Correct.
One per customer. We are each picking one out of this full conversation. Those will be our 3 finalists. Does everybody have one?
Yeah.
Well, I don't yet. So if you have one, please begin.
Sure. I was ready to bring Just Do It to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But then your argument for Finger Looking Good was so compelling that I haven't been able to get it out of my head. And I think it's so good that I can't, in good conscience, I can't bring anything. Cause even Just Do It they definitely conveys an attitude, but you had to have the brand had to exist already.
Mm-hmm.
I think Just Do It, maybe it came about in the 80s, maybe.
Came about in the 80s.
For sure.
Yeah.
So they'd already established what their brand was, and then they were sort of pivoting to really make it more of a lifestyle. Finger Looking Good right out of the box has been there for KFC and is so good they haven't been able to, like, there's no reason to top it. It's part of our vernacular, but you never forget what it's associated with. And it tells you it gives you picture immediately the experience you're going to have when you go to a KFC. And that to me makes it, I haven't seen anything else on this list, although there are great things that I think are as strong as that one.
I will throw out, since you eliminated it from being your finalist, I will say that Just Do It is mine. Okay. Because to me, Just Do It, I don't think it redefined Nike. I think it defined Nike because at that time, Adidas was still number one and Nike, they reached out to everybody. They weren't just promoting Just Do It to professional athletes. Those early Just Do It commercials were, hey, you got a tough day coming up ahead of you. Get out of bed. You know what I mean? That mentality of I think it's the accessible version. Again, like Grey Poupon and Gillette. It is aspirational and accessible because what they're selling is that lifestyle, and the lifestyle they're selling you, Nikes will help with. But what they're selling is the idea of triumph and a go-getter spirit.
Yeah. Motivational. Like whatever it is you want to do.
Thank you for condensing that to one word. that my brain just could not find.
I'm here for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Kevin, what do you think?
Kevin
has something, it's okay if it's one of these. You don't have to bring a separate
if it's one. Then we've got our winner. If it's one of these two.
No, those are great. Those are both almost indestructible winners. So really, I'm just looking to be the third indestructible winner.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, it feels too simple as a choice, but I feel like it's been iconic maybe for the longest without a jingle, it's tough to pick because it's not going to be that popular of a choice, like I think both of yours are. That's why I'm struggling with it.
We're very pedestrian in our choices.
It's going to be the Staples slogan, right?
That was easy. I swear, if this is that Wendy's square.
First of all, it's we dare to be square.
We dare to be square. Thank you, my brain.
It's not that. Nor is it Gatorade is
thirsty for that deep down body thirst.
Which no one should ever have.
Deep down body thirst.
Yeah.
Please.
That doesn't seem healthy.
Just hydrate in some quantity throughout the day, and then you won't have that deep down body.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lublin. I have some terrible news.
Yes.
You have deep down body thirst.
Oh, Lord, please. Can you call my wife? I can't even tell her. Oh.
All right. What are you thinking, Kevin?
It's Snap, Crackle, Pop.
Yeah.
It's not sexy. It's not exciting. It proves the point in the theory of what I thought the criteria was.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make me feel better about myself.
Look, I'm fully on board with Snap, Crackle, Pop. Like I said, it's the only one that the slogan itself has characters.
Yeah.
They're the names. You know?
Right. That's how powerful those three words became to the brand, to the company, to the product.
Yeah.
And you say, I think, Snap, Crackle, Pop to any age of the last 60 years, I think, including today, and they're going to know what you're talking about. I think.
They're still in the box. They're still, they're still there, still kicking. And that's what I'm basing it on, is the consumerism of what is a slogan?
Yeah.
What is it? What is its power? What is it for?
All three of these have lasted a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you win the contest?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, this was way more involved and enjoyable than it had any right to be.
That's correct. So we have 3 finalists now. Let's get it down to 1.
I think we can get it to 1.
Is there one of these 3 that stands out as the best of 3 Indestructibles? Just to be here on the podium is a great honor. But there can be only 1, just like in Highlander.
Well, it's really about Mark caving, because there's no way Just Do It is going to win.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
True. So it's down to Snap, Crackle, Pop.
So do I go with?
Yeah, you're the tiebreaker.
Really, I'm the tiebreaker at this point. It's rare that I'm the tiebreaker. So what it comes down to is it's not which of these. It's Kevin or Hal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Picked up on it.
Yeah.
That's what we set this up for.
And
all right, Kevin, let's start calling and we'll see.
I'm gonna make it easier for you, Mark. I think Finger Licking Good is as iconic Mount Rushmore as any slogan has ever been.
Yeah.
Doesn't need characters on the cover of the box. It is just a term that is a feeling that is undeniable to its product and has lived the longest also. And it's just so simple and easy and dare I say crispy. But Mark, if you want to argue that.
Well, I was about to say Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
Yes! My reverse psychology works! Come to Papa!
Hal, bring it on home!
People of the world, my gut is falling through. I have a deep down body thirst.
Is Pepsi okay?
Quenched by the greatest slogan of all time. I wasn't expecting it, but I'll take it because you've heard it every time you pour the milk in the bowl. Not only is it a slogan that's characters, not only is it a slogan that we associate, but the cereal says the slogan to you repeatedly. Pour milk over it. What other slogan is spoken by the product itself after you bring it home?
Yeah.
Magic.
It's so true. I want to give a very loud shout out to Corey Levin.
Yes.
Because I have said, is Pepsi okay about 17 times? And I did not say his name each time.
Corey Levin.
I just don't want anyone to think that's a Kevin Pollak original.
No, that's the great Corey Levin. Yeah. Is Pepsi okay? Would have won if it existed, but since it does not, outside of the brilliant mind of Corey Levin, we have to go with Snap, Crackle, Pop as the greatest ad slogan of all time.
Wow.
Asked and answered.
Wow. Well,
Kevin Pollak, thank you for coming on this show.
Yes.
You don't have to thank me. The fact that I won The fact that I won through cunning and conniving.
Yes. Through reverse psychology.
As well as superior awareness and knowledge of the topic. You've made your guests feel about as welcome and successful as you could.
Good.
We've had so many great guests on this show, and I would say of all of them, you figured it out better than anyone.
Yeah.
And that is definitely a trophy to be hoisted and shown to the whole crowd.
Well,
thank you for joining us.
Snap, crackle, and pop to you both.
Oh,
thank you, man.
And yes, and to you as well.
What do you want? You've got a lot going on. What do you want people to check out first?
Oh, so yeah.
And then what?
Alchemy This is an improvised comedy podcast. If you need a little break from your true crime podcasts and whatever other type you listen to, and you just want to laugh with some ridiculously fast and fearless, funny improvisers, we get our scene suggestions from listeners and patron supporters. Your very own Mark Gagliardi is on many episodes as one of the improvisers. And it's been going on for almost 3 years, so I'm exceptionally proud of it. And super fun, however you get your podcast. And then The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, season 4 just landed and is continuing to unfold. And then Better Things on FX and Hulu. It comes to you at the end of February 2022. I don't know when you're listening to this, but there you go. Those are the current projects.
It'll be March 1st.
There you go.
March 1st.
So it's out.
Yes.
So it will be out. Check it out.
The first episode, yeah.
First episode will be.
Also, honestly, for all the things that you can know Kevin from, if you have by some odd chance not seen him do stand up, I mean, I don't know if we've had this conversation, Kevin.
We have not.
Briefly right now. My parents, you've met my father. I think my mother had passed by the time I met you, but
yeah,
they raised me on stand up comedy.
Wow.
So whenever comedy was on television, I watched it. So I was trained from a young age to watch it. So all through my life, I've watched stand-up comedy, and I was such a huge fan of the specials of yours that I watched. One bit that sticks in my mind that I will tell people about is you doing the Albert Brooks talk show in the crowd. It is, I don't even want to, I don't want to explain the joke, but to say if you have not seen Kevin's stand-up at any time, it's so good. It's so great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you dearly for that. Yeah, it is my first love, and devoted my life to it, and that's great to hear. Thanks.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. This topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at WeGotThisTweets or
email us at WeGotThisPodcast@gmail.com or go to our Facebook group, Facebook.com/groups/WeGotThisPodcast, and talk about the ad slogans that have shaped your life with the fellow members of that group, all the people of the world. We love hearing from you and love seeing you talk to one another. Thank you to producer Ken Plume. You can listen to his podcast, A Bit of a Chat with Ken Plume, wherever you get your podcasts, and it is well worth your time. Thank you to researcher Kate McManus for all the work she did putting this list together for us, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, for giving us a chance to sit down with our hilarious friend Kevin Pollak and talk about obviously we all watch way too much television. We got there. It was a really fun episode. And with you listening to the show, I gotta say, that was easy. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
Gatorade is
thirsty
for that deep down body thirst. Hi, I'm Pete Seeger.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.